today I am fixing the washer fluid hose that runs up. I had a problem where my windshield wiper fluid stopped spraying on this 2007 Silverado Classic. A lot of different, reasons you can get that, but my particular problem is because the hose, you can see here I've actually disconnected it right there at that joint. There's a joint right here by the battery. I've taken it apart. I was checking along the hose, and right up here where it connects to this windshield wiper, there's a T-joint. It comes up off the T and feeds this wiper, and then the T also continues down and goes to the other wiper. And I'll show you in a little bit once I get all this off, but that T-joint, it just completely melted for some reason. So all of my wiper fluid is just coming out at that joint and not going into the actual sprayers. So what we're gonna do today is replace this hose piece that's underneath this cowling, and hopefully get my windshield wiper sprayers back. But first we've got to remove this cowling to get there underneath it so we can get access to it. And in order to do that, we're gonna have to, take these sprayer hoses off. I just pull out, I'll do that on the other side. And you gotta take these wipers off, and then there's a couple Torx to get the actual cowling off to get access to it underneath. So it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, let's get into it. So to get started removing this wiper blade, like I showed you, you can disconnect this hose here. It just pulls right out. There's a little plastic cap I've already removed, but it just pulls off the top of this 13mm bolt right here. So we'll do that and then work on getting the wiper loose. Do that on the other side and then pull the cowl with the, we'll have to undo the Torx screws for it. I'll show you the process though. All right, let's get this 13mm off. Get her loosened up here. Try not to just smack the crap out of everything. All right, there's one off. Okay, I finally got this wiper arm popped off. That was a bear. What happens is they get corroded there on those splines. Makes it pretty hard to remove. They make a special tool. There's actually a wiper blade puller tool you can get if this is just super stuck. I just worked at it a little bit, tapped it with a hammer, a couple times with the rounded back side of this hammer on the top of the screw, as well as put a little WD-40 on there to loosen it up. But I've been working on it for like 15 minutes now. It finally came loose. I got it loosened off the cone there just enough I could get this flat blade under there, and I kind of turned it, and that ended up popping it off those splines. I hope the next one's a little easier than that. Okay, finally got that one off. Sorry I didn't get a video for you guys. It's kind of precarious, hard to get to. What I ended up doing though was sticking the, I'll show you on this one. I had gotten the screwdriver underneath the arm and was kind of balancing it against this stripping over there, applying pressure so it was pushing up. And then I just was giving the top of that screw a couple whacks with the hammer while I was applying that upward pressure, and it finally came loose. So that's how I did it. You could probably do it a lot more gently with the puller tool. That's probably what you want to use. I don't have one of those. I'm sure a lot of you guys don't. So just be careful when you're doing that. Make sure nothing flies up, hits you in the face, or you don't break something you don't need to. But that's what did it for me. Some guys are saying that you probably are going to want to grease those when you put the arms back on to make sure they come off a little easier next time. Don't get seized up quite so bad. But next step is going to be to, like I said before, come in and get these Torx. There's a couple along the top here. I'm not sure exactly where they're all at. I'll kind of find them as I go, but I'll show you guys after I get these off. So I'm gonna get the Torx bit and just kind of have at it and loosen this plastic off now. I also forgot to mention, alongside the Torx, there's these little clips right here that we've got to remove as well. That's gonna be as easy as just getting a screwdriver under them and working them off. It should just come off there. Okay, so you got a Torx in that corner. There's a Torx in that corner. There's one of these little plastic plug screw looking deals there in the middle. And once you do all that, you can actually pull all this up and we'll be good to go. It looks like there's a bunch of stuff under there too. I don't know if y'all saw that in my head. Look at all that. We're gonna clean all that out too while we're under there. Okay, now that everything's removed, I'm hoping we got everything we need. This should just lift out of here. Let's scrunch it a little bit so it gets past the side over here. and it is loose. We'll have to disconnect this hose, and I can show you guys what's prompted this whole thing to begin with, now that I can kind of get access to it. But if you look there, you can see my T-joint for that wiper hose is just completely melted. So we're gonna have to fix that up. There's a little better view of that T that just rusted out. The rubber is just gone. It's just, I don't know if it melted or if something chewed on it or what happened, but it is definitely very gone. Something might have honestly chewed on it, because it looks like I've had rodents living up underneath this tray here. Lots of evidence of a rodent. And I mean, look at all of this over here. First of all, the damn things ate my firewall. So all my fiberglass from my firewall, as you can see, is now up in here in this little space. It looks like they've been hanging out in there. Nasty little creatures. So we're definitely have to give that a good vacuum while we're in here, and just get all this cleaned up while we've got it open while we replace that hose. After quite a long time, I got this cleaned up. It's looking much better. Used a little APC and some rags, as well as the shop vac. Got everything sucked out of there as best I could. So it's fairly clean now. I even cleaned up along the top here and went ahead and used some back to black on the cowl while I had it off. A lot easier to do it when it's off than when it's on there. So did that. Now it'll be time to put this new wiper hose on before we reinstall it. It's pretty bent up from being in the box, but hopefully we can get it mounted on there correctly. So let's do that now. Hopefully y'all can see that my tripod's working well enough. This should be as simple as just pressing the new one in to this opening here. Like I said, this thing's kind of bent up. It just presses right in. And there's actually two little places where it clips in over here along that cowl. So we'll want to snap it in place there. 2 clicks there just to kind of hold it in place. Make sure it's still tight there. And we'll press this second one in up here. We'll turn it around, face it that way. Let it slide off the bench here. And it's actually going to route through that channel there and head on out, and we'll connect it on the inside. That ought to get everything back in place. So let's put it back on the truck. Got it put back over the wiper arm mounts. Now we'll just have to re-secure that little plug up there and put our Torx bits back in, and then this thing, and then, you know, reclip these little covers that are right back up here. Then this thing will be remounted, and we'll just have to refit the hose and we'll be set. Okay, I got that middle button pushed back in. Over here, actually, I noticed this whenever I was undoing this Torx, my cowl is actually broken, so this isn't actually holding anything here, unfortunately, but I went ahead and put the screw back in just to make sure I don't lose it. Now we just got to route this guy. I really think this thing kind of came in a weird shape, but you want to make sure it's running through that channel as best you can get. I just have it kind of coming through here, down underneath this brace here, and there's actually a little clip right there in the middle of the screen right here. It's not showing very well, but you want to make sure you clip it into that, and then you'll get your end out over here, and then this is just going to plug into this to reconnect that line. There we go, like magic, just reconnected it. So that should have the wiper fluid working again. Now all that's left to do is to remount the windshield wipers and we can check it out. Before I put these wiper arms on, I just took and greased up these splines. So hopefully we don't have such a hard time removing these wiper arms next time I need to. Hopefully this will help keep them from seizing up so bad. So just make sure you do that. Quick little shot of lithium grease or something like that, just to keep them lubricated and corrosion free. All right, let's put these back on here. We're gonna make sure we try and align them with how they were. You got these little, where is it? Right there in the middle of the screen, you got that little mark on the windshield. That's where the windshield wiper is supposed to go. So we're gonna try and line it up with that. Before I forget, you're gonna make sure you put your C-clips back on too. I almost forgot these. Just clip those back in place all along the front here where you removed them. Make sure we got everything held back in place right. And there we go. Actually got the wiper arms back on. I just need to tighten those nuts back down. Thread your hose for the wiper arm itself into the new hose we put on the cowl. There we go. That one's pushed in. Let's come over here and push this one in as well. All right, good. Now I just need to tighten these 13 millimeters back down. Pop our little covers back on. And there we go. We are reinstalled. Reinstalled and hopefully have wiper fluid again. So let's check it out. Here we go, moment of truth. Look at that. We have wiper fluid again, good deal. So there you guys have it. We'll consider this a success. Got the wipers mounted right there on those marks. They're maybe a little bit high, but I actually kind of like where they're wiping right now. And I don't think it's gonna be too big of an issue, so we're gonna leave it. But yeah, we'll consider that done. Got a nice little bonus cleaning in there in the duct behind it that feeds the AC. Got all that cleaned out, stupid rodents. And yeah, the wiper fluid works once again. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was in-depth enough. I tried to cover all the details that I could. And I hope this will help a lot of you guys out there that are trying to do the same thing. Maybe you've got a T-joint that's been chewed or melted, or, you know, maybe you just are needing to replace the hose for whatever reason. Hopefully this was helpful. If you guys did find it helpful, be sure to like the video and drop a comment what your experience with this was. And stay tuned if you want to see some more fixes and stuff for 2007 Silverado Classic, 2002 GMC Yukon, or an 04 or 07 F-150. That's kind of what the vehicles I typically tend to work on. So subscribe if you enjoyed this one and you know, want to see some more fixes. I'm working on getting this thing back to running in a pretty good condition. So stick around for that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next repair video.